you're looking, usually strength HP is the way to go, so there'll be a little bit of a bonus to the other two stats, but everything looking pretty low in the red here, and we are just about to get underway.
It looks like we're off. And we got a dog and a dragon. That doesn't seem like a... We have a magic key, a torch, and that back chest is also going to be a magic key. This gives them an opportunity to do what's called a chest glitch. By leaving out the door here using the one key, they can go downstairs, come back up, and the game, not realizing that the chests are already taken, accounts for 3 empty slots in your chest queue, allowing you 2 spaces where you're able to consume the chests, and then the other 2 in the treasury downstairs will end up being able to be picked as much as you would like for all the contents that are inside them. That could be gold, herbs, Edric's token, torches, wings, fairy water, just about anything except for really Edric's sword or certain other items.
Looks like we've got a Stones of Sunlight and a Death Necklace.
Oh, wow. Now, that puts a really tough pickle because you don't want to burn that key right away. You see on the right there, Betastrep has opted to restart, hoping, now that he's already saved the game, to not have to spend that key so that Betastrep can go right out into the outside, hopefully get 83 gold and be able to buy a key. Actually, it's 85.
Yeah, that is ideal. Now, because there was gold in that bottom right chest, somewhere down the road later in the game, there is the possibility, and maybe Z-Man resetting to think about doing it here. Oh, no, okay, he's going to start from the save here, as now Betastrep taking out a Drakey.
And in case you're wondering, that dinosaur's name is Doran. I just thought that dinosaur would be a little bit easier to tell. It's 8.
And Betastrep with 2 quick Drakey kills here. That's going to get to level 2 with stat gains of 4 power, 5 speed, 11 hit points, and 5 magic points, and the spell of Return, which will take you right back to the Tangential Castle. Not very ideal here in the early going, and Z-Man not having as much luck with the Drakeys.
There is one thing that it does well. It lets you go right from the throne room out, saving a few seconds, and you get to skip 1 poison tile, which, when your HP total is so low, it might be something worth considering now that you have 8 MP and nowhere else to spend it.
Ooh, and Betastrep trying against a Magidrakey, and it has Hurt More, which quickly takes him out and sends him back to the start.
Yeah, that's gonna keep on happening with these low attack numbers until they get to a level where they can do some. I am surprised that Betastrep has not used Return. Hopefully, it's because Betastrep's looking to explore out and return with a key or something after accruing enough gold. But life is the premium.
Yeah, when you're starting with that low of HP and you know that you're going to lose 6 of it to start, it certainly makes for a challenge here as Betastrep running into a Scorpion with the spell of Sleep and is slept but not wrecked, able to wake up and get away.
One encounter that's going to be interesting is with Ghost. That's very winnable fights, but because they can do between, I guess, 3 and 4 damage still, they're still a threat to Betastrep and Z-Man both. Z-Man doesn't have the attack power to do real damage to kill him. However, Betastrep's right on that mark where he should be able to, provided he has enough HP. It's fair game on Drakey, though, as long as you don't get bad luck.
Oh, and Z, meanwhile, looking for the 1 experience more, and he gets it here. So here's level 2 for Z-Man.
Betastrep's getting 3 at a time by cleaning up these Drakeys, and that's going to lower the number of encounters necessary to get to that 17 point, where hopefully you can open up magic and be able to travel through the map.
Oh, and a dodge there, and the Ghost, as you said, attacking for 3, and this is going to send Betastrep back.
That's one of the tough parts. Luckily, the Drakey's defense is a little bit lower, allowing Z-Man to do a maximum of, I believe, 5 damage. Just did 4, though, which you can one-shot a Drake.
Back to the start now goes Z-Man, and has about a 7 experience differential at the moment, as Betastrep now taking out a ghost, and that is going to get level 3, 12 power, very nice, 9 speed, 5 hit points, so double your power and a spin.
That's going to make Magidraki Scorpions a little bit less hazardous, but they're still dangerous with that big magic, so I don't know if they'll be fighting any of those enemies, but Betastrep is ready to clean up a lot of those. Probably a magician.
At this point, with 24 attack power, you can more often than not one-shot a ghost. A warlock's going to be a bit of a lot, though.
It's doable, but too much of a threat to really risk, because you have to go all the way back to the king, and that's going to cost you time. At this point, if you're going to have to take a death, you want to do it just after taking a level to maximize that MP and HP.
Well, a magician would be a great enemy for Betastrep, but having so much strength, they're running away.
He's been working out. I don't know if you saw that last level game.
Well, there we go. This magician's sticking around here as Betastrep with the training, the prayers, and the vitamins brother.
Well, the Z Macho Man over there is not being held back, because cleaning up on those ghosts, avoiding death, able to catch up on experience by a little bit, even though drop that 12 power that Betastrep just got from the last.
And a gold man just a little out of the zone, and Z trying to do a little bit of exploration. Seeing an Axe Knight there, that's not a bad bit of information to take if, let's say, level 4 has Hurt More, as Axe Knights are great hurt moreable enemies, and oh, wow. Call it, you got it here. Okay, so level 4 on Betastrep's side, and there is Hurt More.
And what Betastrep did a great job of was staying alive with a really reasonable amount of HP. That way, when he got into an encounter, even with a Warlock, there's a chance of surviving that first hit. Now, maximize that death, go back to the start, do it all over again. Oh, I forgot about the key. This has all been in pursuit of getting enough gold to buy a key. It's been so long, I completely forgot they had an extra key in the inventory.
And now there's Hurt More for Z-Man, and well, I was about to say off to the races, but well, here, now he's going to head back over, maybe over to that Axe Knight area.
Unfortunately, with no MP, you're still only going to be able to cast Hurt More once. That's one of the few things that Z-Man can look forward to. Even though you are going to get hurt more, Betastrep can't really open up a tremendous lead because you're only able to land one at a time. Knowing where that Axe Knight is, however, that's going to give one player an opportunity to grind a lot of them once they do have the MP to back up that hurt more.
But on the same token here, if Z is able to find an Axe Knight here and take it out with one hurt more. Oh, a Spectre's pretty good too. That'll guarantee a level here.
Definitely. And because of the location right here, if you get out of a fight and you want to go right back to the start, you don't have to wait for another encounter. You can hop right on those swamp tiles, and I guarantee with these fights with the Axe Knights, one or two, eventually you'll get into one where you get dropped into the red health and you can just dump right off into the swamp and start back over with.
And almost simultaneous deaths in this case here, and 15 power at level 5.
I guess because Z-Man knows what's already in the treasury, he's not as much concerned. What I thought Betastrep might do there was check what was in the basement, but I didn't see what that was. Did he go down?
I will admit, in the hustle and bustle, I missed it. Ali Gerbrap, our tracker here, noting that believe it might have been the Staff of Rain Cave.
And that's
Oh,
the
the jerk
difference
cave
of
we're finding.
agility.
Oh, well. Now we've got a debate in chat here. Obviously, it was a cave with an old man, and it was one of them where you can't get something for free. So it's not the Vanilla Stones, the Sunlight Cave. We'll find out later when they go to trade things in.
Was he wearing gray with a long beard? Perhaps a hat?
I think so, although no, it was very hard to discern.
One of the great things about getting that new MP bump on level 5 is you get 4 hurt mores at 21. So Z-Man has been able to open up a little bit of an EXP lead just by not going into the Tantagale trade.
Well, one member of chat, Delta Angerfile, just enjoys calling everyone jerks. Fair enough. So now it seems like Z is finding the Axonite at the least opportune times, but now when he wants to find one, all it is Drakey's and the occasional Spectre.
Oh, the Warlock has hurt more. That is unfortunate news for Betastrep, unable to get that Warlock down. But I guess you got to call it out. Otherwise, Z-Man's not going to get that Axonite.
Well, apparently it's been 4 straight Drakey battles, and now here's a Spectre. Last Hurtmore here, so by the fact that the game knows, that means the next encounter Z's going to get is going to be an Axonite. Wow.
You are on the money. When you're right, you're right. And you're always right.
And just like Mog, I'm my own best friend.
Well, that Wraith Knight is not a fan of Betastrep right now because that Hurtmore got him 72 EXP and an amount of gold that doesn't really matter because he's just going to be death warping in a little while.
All right, so Z going, man, when can I get these Axonites when I need them here? It's like the Axonites don't show up once the Hurtmore MP is there, but as soon as it's gone, oh, hey, I'm going to kill you now.
This could be a race to get the armor, because once you get that armor, you're going to be able to go anywhere you want. So right now, Z-Man has ventured out a little bit east of the starting position and found a new... Not a best friend.
Oh, goodness, yeah, no, that Blue Dragon, not so much, and even on Betastrep's side, the Axonite showing up with no MP for our runners. It's a little bit of cherry picking on the Axonite's part.
It's playing the part of Jason Voorhees. It finds him stranded with nowhere to go and lets him kill himself by running into a swamp or getting...
Amazing how that works.
We have Z-Man and Betastrep with 2 different approaches. Z-Man wanted to clean it up. Betastrep ran away from an easy 80 XP looking to get into the next battle, but the Drakey will not let them go.
I don't know. It may not be a bad idea here. You have Repel, and you have the extra 2, the extra 4 MP. Throw a Repel up, get rid of those Drakeys. That way you can guarantee more of those encounters with the Spectres and the Axonites.
There's also a chance that you get something where you'd want that's going to cost you when you can't land that Hurtmore, because that resistance, you find out how much the Axonite are great to grind on, but great to grind you. 2 more in the books for the Axeman.
Yep, survey says 2 more for the bad guys.
While the Magi-Drakey are much more hospitable in terms of EXP, but they're way meaner on the damage. That's 37 from our Hurtmore, but Z-Man's going to get through the fight. But that's one of the penalties when Z-Man's stopping to get into those fights, walking to the grind spot. There's some hazards.
And if the repel spell was cast, Z wouldn't have to worry about any of those.
It's very true. And also, Betastrep would get a high number of encounters with Spectres who are very safe, very grindable, 57 EXP or Drunelord, in fact.
Yeah, it may not be a bad idea to kind of grind up to a level with a heal spell. You've got the Hurt More here. It's a short walk. Throw a Repel up. Make your way on over here. I mean, sure, you've got Goldmen to deal with occasionally, but otherwise, I mean, this set here of Druin Lords and Spectres and Axe Knights is just grand. You can see already up to level 8 now is Betastrep.
This could be a heartbreaking moment for Z-Man. If Z-Man's able to get into another encounter, I don't think that Hurtmore is going to have much luck in getting your EXP with the Goldman, but maybe Z-Man's just looking to get enough to buy those.
And that
and
could
we
be
have
the case.
A double Death Warp. If you ask me what was going to kill the players most in this seed, I'd generally go with a Red Dragon or an AK-47, but it might be the Swamp. Right now, Betastrep's got an opportunity to catch up on some of that time that he spent in the treasury, because Z-Man's going to have to do the same thing, while Betastrep has much more MP to burn out there gaining experience. Not looking for a Goldman or Drakey, looking for the good. Right now, as you mentioned earlier, that Repel spell would get him out of 3/4 of these encounters on the way there, and only leave him with the ones where his defense wasn't enough to ward them off. While the defense is very low right now, being at that they don't have any equipment, it's still at 21, able to repel small creatures like Drakey, Ghost, Magician, any of the Slimes, perhaps, maybe even a Spectre. I'm not sure. Might be too far. Scorpion probably right on that edge.
Yep, and there is confirmed the Staff Cave underneath Tangential Castle, and Betastrep quickly jumping out here to a rather noted experience lead, probably about 350 or so.
Betastrep has definitely gotten better experience encounters and a little bit better luck in terms of magic landing on the Axe Knight, but Z-Man feels equipped to go out into the world and see what he can get, and is going to be the first player to look to go north, it looks. I do like Z-Man's strategy right here. Just enough MP to get to the next level, probably, avoiding any kind of hazard. I'm the opposite effect on people that you are. I give them the worst of.
WillWagnerMusic, the bad luck schleprock of the DWR community, apparently. Wowsy, wowsy, woo-woo indeed.
For sad shadowing.
Yeah, no, that was a deep cut in terms of the Lost references. For those who may have remembered growing up with the Pebbles and Bam Bam show. One of the numerous Flintstones spin-offs.
Well, right now, there's Z-Man's tripping over some slimes on his way through the desert to go look for some stones of sunlight, unless they already have that. Yep, they do.
Yep, the stones were in the upper left chest in the Tantagel Treasury.
Well, I wasn't as much of a Stones fan. I was an Axe Knight fan. I was a fan of Guns N' Roses. And that's a lot of spells opening up for Betastrep. Now, Stop Spell also available. That's going to prevent a lot of the damage from these hurt mooring enemies around the castle.
This is where we have a divergence of styles here. Z-Man looking to do more in the venturing and exploration. Betastrep kind of sticking around, now starting to explore after having grinded up to level 9. Oh, and the Star Wyverns with the Dragon Lord 2 breath doing damage anywhere from 65 to 72 hit points of damage.
And on the other side, Betastrep's able to get out of that Demon Knight encounter. Sometimes the breaks fall your way luck-wise, and sometimes they don't. And right now, everything in terms of the timing has gotten a little bit better for Betastrep than it has for Z-Man. And Z-Man just on the edge of another level. I think. Oh, actually, no, just 300 short. I think he had just got that level before he was sent back to the castle. No, I'm not saying he's lucky. I'm saying that when you have a coin flip, of course. Hey, I don't want to offend anybody. I'm just saying, if you get a coin flip and you guess heads and it lands on heads, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And if it lands on tails all the time, then whoever it landed on heads for had to by default get better luck than the person who got bad luck. I just meant with like the MP landing in terms of the hurt more on the Axe Knights, that kind of thing, dying just before getting that level. You know, that's the intangible kind of aw shucks kind of.
If we say bad luck too many more times, we'll be getting into the rendition of the Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes song here. But Z-Man making his way, finding a town here, and it is, oh look, it's Breckenary. But I think at this point, Z is more than happy to see it.
Well, if you don't know me by now, then you'll never know me.
Absolutely. So Breckenary, it has some pretty pricey equipment in the shop, a little too rich for Z-Man's blood. Gonna head on over to the item shop, pick up some herbs, which is great because there's no way to heal even at level 9. And now Betastrep finding Breckenary as well, but we'll have enough to purchase, I believe, the large shield for 800 gold. That'll add 10 defense points to his total.
That's one of the benefits of going with the dog sprites. They have notoriously good sense. They can catch on and know where other people have gone. They have that ability to
yes, that certainly is the thing. Also purchasing a dragon scale. Going to go ahead and put that on for 2 more defense is Z-Man. Oh, and Betastrep getting trolled by the NPCs.
Unstoppable. Betastrep would like to go back to the inn and pretend it's a bad dream, but that won't cure his RNG issue.
Bamboo pole.
A natural tendency for the dog to go for the pole.
So the exploration and grinding continues. So Z-Man looks like he's going to kind of hang out here outside of Breckenary and probably use this opportunity to get a cheap inn, grind up some gold, be able to maybe get some sort of a weapon or armor.
Not only is it cheap, it's one of the closest in relation to the entrance of the town, so you can get in and out very quickly as opposed to some of the other ones, even Cantlin or Cole. And Z-Man is going to go back to the...
Well, you're finding out that the Star Wyverns have that Dragon Lord 2 breath, and that's going to make the challenging to the Star Wyverns not as good there.
And down on the other side, the Wyverns are finding what happens when you try to take the stick from the dog with her.
And now Z-Man recognizing the repel and going with it here. I still think that zone in the southern part of that desert, I mean, having the Spectres and Druid Lords and Axe Knights, I still think, especially it's hard to say. I mean, considering that there's a minimal amount of healing and considering how quickly you're able to get those levels, hang out there, take on some Axe Knights, get 130 experience at a time, let those numbers shoot up, and once you're up to level 10, maybe even level 11, you have a heal spell, then you can start to venture out, as opposed to kind of running into these deathly brick walls of blue dragons, of Star Wyverns, and other nasties out here.
I definitely agree. I think right now a desert tile that you can farm enemies on using repel provides a lot of options on low MP. So that beginning grind spot made a lot of sense then, but having Breckenary available right there, even if there are Star Wyverns, a little bit more hazardous. Betastrep found a nice hilly area that got a lot of Wyvern battles, and I think that is a really nice spot to find creatures. I'm not sure which zone it was, but I think it might have been just south of the starting location.
And this is the point of a seed where, as a runner, you're going, man, I feel like I'm behind. I've taken a lot of deaths to things. And that desperation starts to come into play. And that might be why, thinking kind of level-headedly, I mean, it's easy for us to analyze and say, oh, well, this is what I do here, or this would be the smart play here. But when you're in the heat of the moment, when you're thinking of everything going on and you're trying to figure out, all right, what's the best strategy? Which direction do I have to go? Have I explored to the east? Have I explored to the south? You're not necessarily thinking that clearly.
Definitely. And I think one advantage that Z-Man has right now, Z-Man's gone in more directions and has figured out a lot of locations. I think Betastrep right now isn't in Z-Man's position to find this new town, and that's going to be a place you want to be because there are 3 free chests no matter what, a new weapon shop, and whatever is underneath in the back of Garanham.
And he saw Z-Man making his way to the town, and Betastrep as the dog just kind of following, taking that scent and following suit.
A dragon has to have a really unique scent around all these people. However, we're going to go through this door together and find out what's in all 3 of these chests. Oh, you get your key back. I always like when that happens. And you get an herb because they want you to be healthy. And then you get Dragon Scale. That might offend some of our players.
And
Dragon.
Back of Garanham brings a cave, which is Garen's grave.
I like this too because it allows the immediate gold grind. If you can get through a couple chests here, which you can without spending a key, then when you get sent back to the start, you know where 2 towns are location-wise. You know approximately how much gold you can spend, and you also have the hurt moors to protect yourself long enough to get there. This is a really good opportunity to upgrade equipment. And those metal slimes are double tough. Dragon Lord 2 Breath makes them the cutest trap.
No.
It's the Home Alone.
Just seemingly innocent, and then they just go ahead and wreck you, just like Kevin McAllister back in Christmas time in the early 90s.
You get a blowtorch out of nowhere. Right now, Z-Man's been able to get to the 4th chest location floor, trying to get past the gold man here, but has had a better encounter rate thus far. And I said that, and of course, Betastrep has taken.
And a set of wings.
You notice the dog circled at first. That's just a natural dog tendency. Right now, I am a little bit worried trying to run from Magidraki because I think I remember them having hurt more. And even though it's 12 EXP, it's not really that much. Just the chance that you're unable to run away from them. I guess the agility is pretty high this seed, but it's a big risk when you don't have healing spells to be in those battles. I think I'd be taking them, and I'd also be falling further behind.
Betastrep going fairly smoothly here through this grave of Garen.
And the blue dragon has stopped all spells on Z-Man's side, attacked, and Z-Man got away with 17 life left. Luckily stocked up some herbs before trying to go through the cave, and is unfortunately going to be the second one to find the fighter's ring. Naturally, the dog's just better at digging. It's what the dog does.
Now, the fighter's ring, when put on, that adds 2 additional attack power to your total.
Unfortunately, they don't yet have outside, so they can't get out of the cave. But even if they could, right now, they might be looking to death warp back to the castle and gold grind those chests. As we mentioned earlier in the beginning of the match, when you start off in the King's Chambers, there are 3 chests, and every time you go back, the game automatically fills 3 of the chest slots available of its 8 with those empty slots. So going through that cave, you're able to fill all your chest slots and grind that bottom right chest in the treasury for as many gold gold pieces, right? It just says gold. It doesn't say if they're pieces or if you're just chipping off a giant block, a certain percentage of it.
Oh, no. So Z put on the death necklace, which, I mean, when you put it on, it adds 10 additional strength. I think he was trying to use an item to not have to garner an attack, but that is not the item to use. And, oh, well, this is going to be interesting.
Unfortunately, there's 2 problems here. 1, unable to do that gold grind. 2, going to start outside the castle with 1 life. If while he has herbs, he's able to get out of there. But if he cannot get to Breckenary in the time it takes to get that death necklace removed, he'll be stranded.
So now he's got to make a beeline to Breckenary, and on minimal resources, I mean, he has no heal spells. He only has, I think, now down to 4 herbs. If an enemy kills him on the way to Breckenary to remove the curse... Oh, wow.
This is a really unfortunate break for Z-Man there, because I think a little bit of an EXP gap you can come back from if they need to use that death necklace to approach a Dragon Lord a level early. Right now, it's going to put him even more in a hole, because he'll have to get more experience later on in the game when Betastrep's ready to make his run. Well, one motto, he's a very, very good boy.
So chat noting at least that there was some MP left over, but now Z-Man using his last MP. So if he ends up taking a death here, oh good, well, just a few steps away here, he's gonna have to run from this Wraith. Does so, and is able to get to the town, and he's immediately just sprinting over to the man who can remove a curse. This is something you seldom see here in a Dragon Warrior randomizer race. And there we go. The curse is lifted. But that death necklace cannot be reacquired.
It's one of the few times where you're in a truly all-or-nothing scenario, because normally you can always restart, you can save the game, you can protect yourself, but when you can't talk to the king, there's no way to save your current progress. If you die on that run using all your herbs, you don't get to restart. You don't get another shot at it. It's over.
Well, you just have to reset from your last saved point.
And we're talking level 3, 4 maybe.
And speaking of resetting from a save point, Betastrep attempting to get to Breckenary with all of that gold and falling to a Star Wyvern on the way. So that's going to buy a little bit of time for Z-Man here to catch back up.
Well, luckily for Z-Man's already out of the swamp, on his way, and doesn't have to go through that whole trip. But Betastrep's also carrying a large fortune into a crowded area. So if Betastrep can't find what he's looking for at the shop, or ends up having some bad luck encounter-wise, this could open up time where Betastrep's not accruing any EXP in order to protect his gold by resetting the game, as we just saw him do.
And with that, Z-Man now getting to level 10.
Right now, it's a very close match EXP wise, but with the Star Wervins having DL2 breath and magic resistance, they're a really big hazard because at doing 72 or more damage is one thing, but when you know you can kill an enemy with 2 hurt mores, it's different than when you might not be able to. Z-Man has to take on a Star Wervin right here, and by take on, I mean get taken out by.
Oh, and the hurt spell missing, trying to use that little extra bit to take out the Axe Knight here as the hurt more didn't hit, and now the resources getting a little light here, and now having to traverse through that swamp. Steps away, and Beta makes it.
I like to play using hurt instead of hurt more. I think in order to save any amount of magic, you need to do what you can. And now the best armor available for purchase and the best shield overall in the game are in his possession. A slight EXP lead, and Z-Man hasn't even the ability to start the gold grind, nevertheless take the equipment into battle and really maximize its use by getting it earlier in the match.
So I don't know if that was a miss menu. I mean, we'll certainly have to ask that in the post-race interview, regardless of the results. But the result of having to remove the curse from putting on the death necklace, that has considerably set Z-Man back here and has created a huge hole for him to dig himself out of.
And unfortunately, that metal slime was not nearly nice enough to him, given his situation. What I think happened for Z-Man, and I'm not sure of it, but the last item that Z-Man dropped was the dragon scale. So I think he thought that he still had the dragon scale and knew where it was in the item menu and just accidentally selected where he had last seen it.
And of course, they both start with D.
Of course. Well, right now the dog is on the way south, looking to make best use of the new equipment. Unfortunately, can't find a better weapon than his bamboo pole, but with hurt more, you really don't use much else.
But there's another town, and in Garenham, there's the Flame Sword. So now Betastrep has all the best equipment that money can buy. The best weapon that money can buy, the second best in the game, the second best armor in the game, and the best shield in the game.
And right there, you can look at the stats on the two players. You have Chainmail for Z-Man, and the best purchasable equipment, and you can see a 28 difference in attack, and more importantly to me, 34 in defense, meaning Betastrep's going to be able to survive longer without heal magic because he's going to recover from the magic armor to begin with, and also take many more shots from these enemies, especially the ones with hurt more, because the magic armor diminishes the amount of damage done by hurt more.
And now the Swamp Cave being found here, and the search of the rather innocuous Sparkover bridge to a town, and then a single spot south of the town. So
He's the kind of dragon.
Even with the deficit here, Z-Man's run has definitely been validated.
Well, he's the kind of dragon that's going to go around town making sure everything is properly taken care of, and all Sparkover bridges are accrued for. And right now, Betastrep is going to be put to the test. And of course, the dog knows.
And we joke about the validation, but yeah, the Sparkover Bridge, it's named after one of our runners, Sparkover. She really, there's a fascination with bridges, but especially the bridges that lead over to a single tile. And there's that hope beyond hope that in one of these seeds that will happen to be the overworld search spot. As Z-Man now finding Charlotte Castle, that's where the Dragon Lord is, known in the community as the Big C because of the stone wall that's shaped like a C that surrounds the castle.
It's known that the Sparkover Bridge and Island, those are the best.
Big power gain on level 11, but still no spells of the healing variety or otherwise. And now another cave here on Betastrep's side, and it is the Tablet Cave.
I didn't see how much MP Betastrep went into the cave. I'm just trying to figure out if it's worth using outside when you only have 41 total, because I definitely would, because I would, but I don't think it's the right move. But I'm
you have 22 MP, now down to 16 as Z-Man has found Cantlin.
Well, if Betastrep did it, then it has to be the right move.
Ooh, still, even though with all that additional attack and defense, the Star Wyverns, they're like a honey badger. They don't care. Oh, and Betastrep finding a town of coal.
This is a game changer, because if the location is on the map, right now Z-Man has the advantage. Betastrep searches and finds the armor. That is the best equipment he's going to find outside of Edric's sword, and we're regaining HP when we walk, and maximum defense. Enough defense to even take on the Dragon Lord right now. That's a great spot to be in.
Well, considerably, and now you see the different colors of the statistics there. So early on, we saw red, which meant subpar to start. There's also white, which means you're making the climb, but obviously quite a ways to go. Orange means it's borderline, it's a maybe. And then if you see green, that means it's really good to go here. And meanwhile, Z-Man looking for coordinates in the town of Cantlin and is told thou must go and fight. There are no coordinates.
That is an unfortunate bit of
And you have to wonder, the overworld spot, or two of the three search spots can be replaced in treasure chests. The fairy flute or Erdrick's token, or both, can be in treasure chests. If they're not in those overworld or coal or Hawksness search spots, then instead you would find a cursed belt.
Right now, if both players found Hawksness, Betastrep would be able to take on that spike tile pretty comfortably. And even if it's a red dragon, give a decent fight, probably lose, but can put up a good fight against any creature, given that Betastrep has sleep. I believe the fairy flute. So even the heavy golem creatures and stone men will end up falling in a lot of battles with Betastrep. Unfortunately, Z-Man doesn't have that luxury at only 76 attack.
And now Betastrep finding Cantlin and is going to find out the bad news about the lack of coordinates. Meanwhile, the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave, Z-Man in and finding an empty chest. So it was either an herb or a magic key. I want to say an herb because a key was used in Cantlin to find out the coordinates.
And to see the improv, I did not see Z-Man find Swamp Cave yet, but I just said it, so maybe he will now.
And a cave here on Z-Man's side that's just north, and it is the Mountain Cave. So this will give Z-Man a chance to... Oh, no. He gets away from the red dragon, though. So a chance to search some treasure chests and potentially still reactivate that gold grind. Here's a set of wings up top.
Well, put yourself in that dragon situation. You expect you're going to find a dog or a person, and you see another dragon. You feel at least a little compelled to let him go.
Ooh, there's the silver harp, one of the key items needed in the game.
Imagine seeing a dragon playing a harp. That'd be something special. That only happens in, I think, Puff the Magic Dragon.
And now Betastrep finding the mountain cave as well.
Z-Man is able to get away from that metal slime.
And he finds Erdrick's token.
Wow, that is a great mountain cave. And Betastrep is hot on Z-Man's tail.
And what a tail.
Z-Man accidentally made a left at Albuquerque.
Betastrep able to escape. Oh, and Erdrick's sword is in the cave as well. Wow.
Well, that's a lot of things to Z-Man, but what it is 9,800 gold. He does not have to grind. Because right now, the opportunity to grind is presented to Z-Man for the first time since last time he was in a cave. He ended up dying with that death necklace on and was unable to speak to the king, nevertheless going to the treasury.
And here goes Z-Man printing money, and he'll only have to go up to 22,500 to get the magic armor and to get the silver shield. And he can only...
Would you grind to 22.5 right now? Because I think I would, but I always wonder if other players would do that or just go up to 3,000. Because I know a lot of players prefer just the defense given by the full plate rather than having the magic armor. I guess if you know where it is, it doesn't make sense not to grind for it. But I've seen a lot of players who don't really have much love for magic armor.
Well, if you know that you've seen one, I mean, you figure each chest take is about 2 seconds and a 4,700 differential. That's maybe another 9 treasure chests. So you're looking at about an extra 18 seconds if you want to get that extra bit of gold to go up to the amount for the magic armor.
I didn't realize it was 18 seconds. Ali Jabrat brought up a great point. If heal more or even a heal spell was available, it'd be worth considering. But as long as you don't have heal more, the magic armor is a really nice luxury. And Betastrep found Hawksness. I wonder, is there any reason to even go here? Just to maybe figure out if the spike tile's worth something?
Looking for a grind spot, potentially. I mean, it depends on what's here. A wizard, a great enemy for Betastrep, is already able to defense break. Oh, but it has sleep. More of a mild inconvenience.
Well, defense breaking wizards is incredible to do when you're on level 11, especially given that at 116, might only take 2-3 more levels to get enough stats to really take on Dragon Lord. And as I said, that 22 magic points is going to help that out tremendously.
Blue dragon in the spike tile.
I don't mind the blue dragon when you have Edric's armor, because if he keeps on casting stop spell, it's easy money. Also, all the spells were unlocked. I completely forgot about that.
Wow.
I saw 22 magic and I was so impressed that I forgot that the entire game's over, because once you get that magic at 123 attack power, level 12, probably it's doable much earlier.
Well, you say that. I mean, with that massive magic point gain, though, only 63 MP. That's just 7 heal mores when you get into Sharlock. And we have a question in chat. Did you not check the spot? Betastrep knew that there would be nothing in that spot because all 3 potential search spot items are currently in Betastrep's possession. He has the Erdrick's armor. He has Erdrick's token. He has the fairy flute. Both were found in treasure chests, so there was no need to search the spot as he knew there was going to be absolutely nothing there.
Another thing, Betastrep's going to get levels having to trade in the harp and collect the rainbow drop anyway. So naturally, in traveling, is probably going to get to level 13 easily, maybe even 14. So it'll be interesting to see how much grinding is necessary. Because right now, 50 minutes in, Betastrep has a great beginning to try to tackle Sharlock with that high defense.
Another Axe Knight on Z-Man's side and is able to get to Breckenary, so he's going to pick up the Silver Shield and the Magic Armor.
Ali Jabrap brings up in chat, trading in the harp for the Staff of Rain already for Z-Man. That's one nice little help, and it's one less errand to run, because Betastrep might not even have found... did he find Staff of Rain Cave? That's underneath Tentagal, right?
That's correct.
No.
So Z-Man has traded in the Silver Harp for the Staff of Rain.
So it saves a little bit of time.
And there is the Rainbow Drop Cave.
And I believe that's got to be Grimmeldar, right? Yep.
Just south of Rimeldar. And just noping right on out of there.
Well, you have the fighter's ring, you have the scale, you have the death necklace, and everything else. Best thing you're going to find in there is something you already have enough.
So Z-Man now heading back into Garenham, and question in chat, where was the Erdrick's armor? It was in the town of Cole, and that was the only search spot that had anything, as both the Fairy Flute and Erdrick's token were in treasure chests.
It's interesting because I've heard a lot of other commentators on the game, and I heard you say Cole, I say Cole, but another pronounce it more of like a Call.
Well, there are so many differentiations in pronouncing various towns. I haven't heard it so much with that particular town with the search spot 4 steps south of the Baths, but I've definitely heard it with the starting castle, as I've heard Tantagel, I've heard Tantagel, also the town where there's the easily openable key shop. Some say Rimeldar, some say Rimuldar. Garinham and Garenham. I mean, different people put different emphases on different syllables. What can I say?
Breckenary.
Yeah, I've also heard Brockenary. But I think that's just one commentator. Shout outs to Up to NG.
Well, that if you're going to be called by one commentator, that's a good one to be called. Right now, the dog has found a pretty good spot for farming Axe Knights, 2 desert tiles, back and forth, and Betastrep is reaping the benefits of being just south of Rimeldar.
And just like that, here comes level 13. 2 power, 2 speed, 1 hit point. That's about it.
Choosing to power through the golems because they have hurt saves them the 7 seconds it would normally take to cast the fairy flute. Even though they have heal, there's enough damage being done by betastrep to make it a fruitful endeavor. Meanwhile, Z-Man is struggling, getting pounded on because he doesn't have heal more.
Oh, and gets blocked from an escape, but hurt cast. And is going to use the fairy flute to put the golem to sleep.
I think right now, does Z-Man know that the golem has heal?
I don't know if he does, but he's not going to find out here. Gets the 255. Now, as far as a grind spot, and I see, okay, here Z-Man's going to come up on the Rainbow Drop Cave, so he'll be able to acquire the Rainbow Drop first, pending things going sour in this battle here. Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
He got 21 jumped.
And is sent way down the street back to the castle.
And the Axe Knight claims another victim just outside of a rainbow. Betastrep maximizes MP, able to get back to the castle, casts Repel, and sets himself up for the next grind. Right now, only 600 EXP away. There's potential to do a dive down the Sharlock, but with only 63 MP, I don't anticipate it.
So now back to Garanham to recover the herbs. And Z doesn't realize, but he is just about 210 experience away from getting the things.
I think one of the problems right now, Eternal Newbie mentioned the Blue Dragon and Hawksness. I think one of the problems that the Blue Dragon and Hawksness has is just location being further away from a town. Beta can exhaust all MP, go right back and do it again, and have one encounter battles where it's just hurt more and done, or hurt more and a moderate attack, whereas the Blue Dragon could take 3 or 4 attacks.
And this is an interesting grind spot here. Now, have we seen, I'm trying to remember what the spike tile enemy was in the swamp cave. Have either of our runners checked that at this point?
I don't believe so. I think in the swamp cave I saw encounters, but I never saw them use a torch to go to the spike.
All right, and Z-Man has the rainbow drop. Meanwhile, wow, big level gain there on as far as MP at level 14, just moments after Betastrep having the rather streamlined 55-55 experience.
The swamp cave is one of the few caves where if I'm going to go to the spike tile, I always use a torch, but I know a lot of the pros can probably navigate right to the spike tile on their own. So there's a chance that one of these players went and checked it, but they didn't use a torch. And that's the only other way I could see knowing what that is.
So now Betastrep going in and getting the Staff of Rain.
That is a huge MP gain, up to 86 on level 14 there. Everything is just about where you want it to be to make a real serious run on the Dragon Lord. All Beta's got to do is find the closest inn, cast Repel, go to bed, wake up, and take on the Dragon Lord's minions.
When you see the majority of the stats in orange and the hit points in the green, so it's I don't know. It is close. Betastrep may go up to level 15, may fight his way down to 15, but once he goes back to get the rainbow drop, it's looking pretty cut and dry here for Betastrep, at least at the moment, pending a rather troublesome Charlock Castle. As we look, the defense points only 83, so there are 9 potential hard-hitting monsters that can make Charlock rather challenging.
Betastrep's also going to have at least a few encounters en route to get the rainbow drop. Depending on how Beta decides to play it, we might be able to tell what strategy, because if Beta opts not to fight, then we know not planning to grind to 15. But if Beta starts to grind, maybe stop at the inn and hope to do a diving grind and get level 15 on that spike tile right before taking on the Dragon Lord. Right now, it seems like Beta went back north, looking to cycle back around, go through the swamp, and maybe go back to that grind spot right underneath Rimeldar, where he had so much luck before. You know, if it worked, work it. With that high defense and attack, the repel spell is going to keep a lot of enemies who are less than 70 EXP away. So even though Beta's not really having great luck in getting to the Rainbow Drop Cave currently, right there, able to take on enemies that net a decent amount of EXP, it's not a bad spot to be in when you're an hour into the race about to get the Rainbow Drop. But the number of deaths probably have to be a consideration, because 11 and 14 are really good numbers on this tough seed. But when you die and get sent back to the start, sometimes it can make you wonder, am I behind? Am I the one who has the best equipment right now? So right now, Z-Man is in a little bit of a panic mode. Betastrep seems cool as a cucumber.
Well, if you're Z, you absolutely have to think that you're behind from the issue about a half hour ago of putting on the death necklace and the havoc that created.
Yeah, that's a tough break to have. When you know everything that the menu looks like, and then one thing changes and it throws your whole thing into flux. You hate to see a missed menu cost somebody so. I believe Cole was to the west, right? Or was it the other continent west of the swamp cave?
I can barely keep track of the items and everything. Mapping was never my strong suit.
Well, I'm sure that that chat will be kind enough to let me know when I make a mistake.
Well, it's more about chat helping out because there's so much to observe in such a short period of time. It's hard to keep everything straight. And now here is Hawksness for Z.
And
gonna find the blue dragon and gonna be disappointed with the results.
This is some unfortunate news, because Z-Man doesn't know that the armor isn't in Hawksness yet, because he hasn't found Cole. So this is the hopeful battle that you find out that the enemy doesn't really have that much threatening about it. and then yields nothing. And that's going to be level 13 for Z-Man, who pulls within 1 temporarily, because Beta is about 4 battles, maybe 5, away from the next level.
Huh, I didn't realize that Star Wyverns were in this zone, so this actually looks to be a brilliant play here on Betastrep's part, throwing up the repel. I was talking in chat a little bit about how I liked the grind spot, at least prior to seeing this. The one pretty early on where Betastrep and Z-Man were, but seeing as here there are Axe Knights, there's Star Wyverns, and there's Golems with heal and hurt. This spot right here in between Rimmeldar and the Rainbow Drop Cave is, pending an Axe Knight being in the Swamp Cave, this is a pretty brilliant spot to go with here. And you can see the experience lead just jumping up now to about 2,800.
Well, that was some good luck right there for Betastrep, because by their Star Wyvern not using that breath, Beta didn't have to burn a heal more, which would have put him at 4 MP right now, which isn't really the ideal spot you want to be when taking on enemies. Power 2, speed 5, hit points 4, magic 2. I don't know. That's a judgment call. I think
I would say no.
Now, I know a lot of players wouldn't put on the death necklace, especially given that you only have 88 MP, but it's one of those things where you can take a stab at it, and it will get you the maximum value, because by the death necklace giving you that 10 attack power, it puts you up to 137. At 137, that passes the threshold to do your maximum and minimum damage to raise it by 3, because that 10 bump gets you over the last one you need to get to 128, and the 8 you need to get to 136. It's incredibly scary to be at 91 HP, and that's why I don't think that it's doable. But I would really, if I was in a pinch, I would consider it. But an hour and 7 minutes in, there's no reason to give it that risk, unless you're absolutely positive you're going to use it and want to get a little bit more attack while you level up. But Beta is going to just keep finding this grind spot to be fruitful.
Yeah, I mean, even if you get up to the 137, if you strike with average hits, you would need 11 heal mores, and that's exactly what Betastrep has. You'd have to hope for no double heals. And with only 91 HP, that is requiring an insane amount of RNG to be on your side to be able to do it. It's one of those things where it's doable, but you're looking at probably a less than 20% chance of victory.
And unfortunately, Z-Man, who still hasn't found Edric's armor, got Star Wyvern back to the beginning.
And that would have given him level 14.
Just one enemy away. If I remember correctly, didn't 14 give you something like 19 MP?
14 did give a rather noted MP boost. Yes, it did. It was, I want to say, at least 17. It definitely boosted you above 80. It might have even been closer to 20 MP, possibly 21.
Golly. Well, Beta is content to grind to 16, and in all likelihood, as long as 16 isn't the dreaded empty eye, Beta's in great position to get 16 and take a shot, drinking or at the Dragon Lord.
So here comes level 14 for Z-Man. 0, 6, and 23. Great memory on Ali Gerbrap's part. Our restreamer here, or I'm sorry, our tracker here this evening. CD Improv taking care of the restreaming.
And Beta gets an excellent strike on that Star Wyvern and ends up getting another 105, but the Star Wyvern are drawn to another excellent move.
You can see the experience lead now up to about, well, it was 3,500. Now it's closer to 32, but after this, it's going to go back up to 3,500.
Z-Man's inability to get that armor really hurts.
And Betastrep just one enemy away from level 16.
Is this well, it's the closest town to Sharlock, I believe. Well, where you can cast Repel and make it all the way to Sharlock in one trip, right? I think that I'm pretty sure Sharlock is just slightly south and then west.
Let's see here. 4 power, 3 speed, 4 power, 9 MP. Oh, lordy.
It's because I said it.
I think that might be go time.
Well, now that Death Necklace is really in question, because that 10 now gets you up to 141. 141 is a great number to be at, because it means your maximum of 20 and your minimum of 10. To kill even a 165 Dragon Lord, that's a really nice number to see.
I think the HP, it's still a little bit dicey. I think at this point, if you go with the 131, because the HP is so high, you are looking at potential double strikes on the Dragon Lord. So I think, chat pretty much saying here, you've got an attack range of 7 to 15 on the second form of the Dragon Lord. So you're averaging 11, so you figure 15 attacks, and you've got 12 heal mores. So you're hoping to get a couple of doubles in there as long as you hold on to your MP on the way down.
Understandable. I think that Beta is gonna give this a dive, but if Beta ends up burning a heal more, I wouldn't be surprised to just see it stay in Sharlock, grind out the next level or close to it, and give it another run. Because 16 is, I think it's worth a shot, but that's because I'm not playing. I'm watching. It's more entertaining to me if the Death Necklace is in play. Well, during this mention that the Dragon Lord hasn't been hiring very good minions to guard, it is a very charismatic.
I was just crunching the numbers. So you would have 93 maximum hit points going in with 12 heal mores. Oh, wow. I don't know. You better hope for some melee attacks, and even then it's a little dicey, as they can attack for up to 48.
87 is a nice number to see. I know that there's potential of the double Dragon Lord breath. 25% of the time, I think, because it has to be higher than 50 twice in a row, right? Because my thought is that if the Dragonlord breath is 50% of the time and it's 42, 44, 46, or 48, it has to be higher than 44 2 consecutive times in order to take you out. So I would be more prone to gamble. If like beta is an hour and 15 in, definitely not worth it because you can't go back from it. But if I was down and if I was in Z-Man's position, let's say on level 16 right now, or approaching it a little bit later on, maybe an hour 30, it's something I would really consider, because I would feel on this seed after not being able to find the armor, I'd get a little desperate.
Well, the story of this seed can be told in two different simple statements. Z-Man accidentally putting on the death necklace a half hour in, and Z-Man unable to find Cole, which has Eric's armor. Other than that, these two have played extremely... I mean, other than that, these two were neck and neck. They were finding things pretty much at the same time, but those were the two turning points of this match that has led to the lead that Betastrep has.
Definitely. And now the Red Dragon gets an opportunity to end Beta's trip through the dungeon and isn't able to do it. Beta is approaching the last staircase before the final floor of the dungeon, before the Dragonlord throne room, and the Armored Knight is not going to let him.
We did say pending an issue in Sharlock here, and now having to burn a heal more. So only 11, and we'll see here. Betastrep still unable to get away.
Yeah, that just about ends it. I had to use my powers for good.
Z-Man finally finding the swamp cave, had cast outside thinking that he was in Swamp South, but has to make that long trek through. But at least he's on the right track to finding Cole. Betastrep going to ignore the treasury in Sharlock and head on over to the Dragonlord.
Sometimes if you haven't caught all the herbs and you know that there's going to be one or two in the treasury, it's fun to jump in there. But overall, it's too risky with that MP total being at what it is. At 89, you might be able to consider taking on the Dragonlord, but at 81, it's really almost out of consideration.
Yeah, it was dicey with full MP, but having to burn the one heal more now, it is probably a less than 50% chance of success here. But Betastrep, he's gone all this way, going to see what he can do here.
The Spike Tile is a golem, very welcome from Betastrep, because if for any reason Betastrep isn't able to take on the Dragonlord here, the golem is an opportune enemy to see at 255 experience, only hurt and heal as the main spells, not really a risk. There is a possibility, if this goes decently enough, to get into fights with the golem and not lose any life if you use the fairy flute. So this is a relatively safe grind spot. If Betastrep didn't feel comfortable taking on the Dragonlord, that's a nice place to know you can go and get that last experience you need to get the level.
So Betastrep walk healing in front of the Dragonlord. And here we go.
I think we're going to see a Death Necklace play.
No, not going for it here. Meanwhile, I think
In
Z
battle.
has found... Oh, wow. Level 15 for Z. And there's Cole.
I think you can put the Death Necklace on in battle.
It only takes effect after a transition, though. And now here we go. So 8 to start off with. There's an 11. We're up to 19. The Dragon Lord can have anywhere from 150 to 165. There's another 8. We're at 27. Yeah, double digits is what betastrep is looking for. We're at 38. 8 heal mores left. Another 9. That is 47. $58 now for betastrep. Z-Man in the cave gonna probably take a look at the spike tile here. Up to 70 now for betastrep. And now 80 thanks to the double. $92. Those double digits keep on rolling for betastrep. Oh, and there's a big 14, 106. Now down to 3 heal mores. This is going to be close. 114 thanks to the single digit 8. There's a double digit. We're up to 124. And he gets the double here. 131. There's the 3 doubles that betastrep was looking for. 2 more heal mores. That's going to put this, it's very likely now. 141. Last heal more. Unless it's a 165, this might be able to be squeaked out here. 152. Last attack.
Get
164, and he does it.
Great play. And that's why betastrep beats the Dragon Lord, and I lose to beta. I mean, the story of this was Z-Man finds the armor when betastrep is taking on the Dragon Lord. It was just an unfortunate inability to get the.
Absolutely. Get out your GGs for betastrep, who is going to take the victory here with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 15 seconds.
Very well played. A great seed ran by betastrep and Z-Man. It's just that death necklace. You can see Z-Man right now going on to take on the Dragon Lord. Looks like we might see the end of his run right now.
All right, so we're being told that betastrep, due to audio situations, unable to join us in the commentary booth here, but will be joining the Randomania 2 chat to do a talk versus type interview.
Right now, Z-Man.
Oh, you're on it.
Well, Z-Man is finding the staircase here at 8178. There is a possibility of getting that 1600 experience on the way. I gotta imagine that's the plan, taking on enemies like this golem right here. But are you going to be able to conserve enough magic points to really take a shot at the Dragon Lord if you got to burn?
Well, and he doesn't realize that level 16, I mean, it's what he's trying to get to, but 16 will garner an additional 9 MP that will give 1 extra heal more.
Definitely, and that excellent blow on the first golem helped out a ton. I'm curious to know.
Oh, and Z-Man is just forfeited.
That'll be it. The golem landed another.
The golem just taking him out here. I guess I saw IRC before I saw the screen. He just put or not.
Man, it's tough because as soon as Z-Man found that armor, he felt like he was ready to approach Sharlock. Probably took a look at the stats and realized not really enough attack to take on Dragon Lord. If he can level on the way, just can't spend any magic, and it's kind of heartbreaking after you find something to start back from the castle, make the run up to Sharlock, knowing that your opponent's already done, and it's a tough position to put in. Low motivation to complete it.
Absolutely. So, man to join us here, and I believe he is ready to be brought into the booth. And we have a Z-Man with us here. It was a bit of a rough one, but certainly a lot of perseverance there. Something may be muted as we see the green light on, but we don't have any volume. Technology, it's great when it works. All right, so we're working on the audio issues here. So betastrep going to go to 2-1 amidst a very tough field there. Z-Man falling to 1-2 and has his work cut out for him as there's an extremely tough field, and with only 2 weeks left, the challenges certainly grow and then some.
Well, I think that maybe it's something we said because both competitors have quote unquote audio issues. I think it's something.
Well, Z's working on rebooting Discord.
Heard that one before, and then he's washing his hair, and then he doesn't pick up the phone.
Didn't realize you were talking to Mrs. Z-Man.
This in no way reflects my personal experience.
Oh, not at all.
But it is the theme for the seed. Z-Man found himself in pretty good position and then ended up having to reboot for a reason that was, just beyond his control.
Yeah, exactly. The Death Necklace got a hold of his Discord.
Exactly. And then he couldn't find the USB.
Well, as we are awaiting Z here, this will give us a time to go over. We've got, looks like 3 matchups coming your way tomorrow here among the Randomania networks and RPG Limit Break, scheduling permitting, including just 8.5 hours from now. That's right, a little, I guess, early morning Dragon Warrior for you. That's right, a little, I don't know, breakfast in Brecken area, I suppose. In the Alan Heffley taking on the Amused Miniature, that is going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow morning. That's right. And then 12 hours after that, you've got Much Paranoia taking on our restreamer here, CD Improv. That should be a goodie. And then a little bit later tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern, it is going to be the Hangry Canuck against Demarine 2. So that's going to be a little bit of a lighter thoroughfare the next couple of days, as the only matchup that we have set for Saturday is a 7 p.m. Eastern matchup between Tristal and Kong Cakes. And then Sunday, is it going to be a Sunday, Bloody Sunday here? As I'm looking here, we have 7 matchups on the docket for Sunday. We've got J-Man against Poydrak. That's going to be at 11 a.m. on Sunday. I'll be taking on Centroid 41 at high noon on Sunday. Also, Vralis against Fury SK at 2 p.m. Ikbin Maya against Ali Jerbrap. That's going to be at 3 o'clock, although you'll have to watch their individual channels for that one. Archfield Monk and Ryguy 3745. That's at 5 o'clock on Sunday. Mr. Holmes and Angel FM. That should be a goodie. That's at 8 o'clock on Sunday. And closing out the week is Zarnax 42 against Monsieur Slime. That is at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday seems like a great day for Dragon Warrior Randomizer on the big screen.
Yeah, I have a hunch that I'm going to have a pretty long Sunday between racing, racing as well as I'm sure I'm going to be needed to commentate some of that. I'm sure that some of those times may be shuffled around to try to potentially have quads, just because it is a great effort here among the Dragon Warrior Randomizer community to be able to get crews to volunteer and put their time out there. So to have potentially 6 different crews at the different times on a Sunday, that is a lot to ask. And Z saying that Discord is not working, so he is frustratedly joining us here in chat. And the first question that immediately comes to mind was from about the 31-minute mark of this race. What happened as far as putting on the death necklace? I realize it's going to take some time to type the response. Okay, miss menu. See, we had figured maybe in scrolling through and seeing that it began with a D, maybe you thought, oh, okay, I'll just put on, I'll thou art already wearing the dragon scale, and not realizing that it was the death necklace. And maybe, oh, okay, yep, that's exactly what it was. You were looking for the dragon scale and saw a D, and it happened to be the death necklace. And well, I can tell you that you were pretty well keeping pace with Betastrep at that point. Both of you were in that cave at that time. Both were working on a gold grind. It was just because of the death necklace cursing you, that meant you had to set aside time to rather luckily make your way to Breckenary and avoiding death there to remove the curse, to then kind of pick up where you left off. And that allowed Betastrep to just take off and go to the races from there. And that was the other thing. Yes, Betastrep had found coal considerably earlier. That was one of the last towns that you had found. So Betastrep was already working on a grind well by the time you had... Actually, I think Betastrep had already been in Sharlock by the time you had found coal. And it was pretty much academic from there, unfortunately. A great grind spot that actually there were a couple of that's probably the other story, is the grinding locations that Betastrep had found. And no, you didn't lose too much time, but it was, yeah, I mean, the one thing, and this is something that I was kind of surprised by for both runners early on, and it was something I don't know if it had crossed minds at that point. Once you guys had acquired Hurtmore, you already had Repel as well. I'm surprised that there wasn't more time spent just throwing down the Repel and pacing in that desert just to the east of Tantagel, as that area at that point, I believe the 5 enemies in that zone were Drakies, which it seemed like you were encountering every other step in that area. But along with the Drakies, you had Goldmen, you had Spectres, Druid Lords, and Axe Knights, and those latter 3 enemies would have been fantastic Hurtmore enemies if the Repel had been thrown up. Plus, that would have saved all those encounters with the Slimes and Magidrakies and other nonsense that was surrounding Tantagel Castle once Hurtmore had been acquired.
And as far as the other negative of the death necklace, when Beta had died, he was able to go back and immediately gold grind and get the best equipment. Z-Man had to wait for his next opportunity in a cave to grind, and that gave Betastrep better equipment a little bit earlier, including the magic armor, which allowed a little bit easier exploration.
And Z-Man was telling you didn't notice that the first 3 times that he had gotten an Axonite, there was no MP. I said, no, we absolutely called it out. We were calling the Axonite everything from a chicken to an opportunist. Betastrep said started using Repel after he had started seeing too many Drakies for a little while. He was hoping for a heal on the next level and wanted to hang on to 4 MP to use it to go east through the swamp, possibly optimistically. And, well, I mean, who were you to know that the healing spells wouldn't come until level 12?
I think that at the end of the game, Betastrep found a great location just south of Rimmeldar, which had a really great encounter rate, including Star Wyverns, Axe Knights. There were a few other 100 EXP hovering enemies there, and it was a really nice spot. And he was able to go back.
Yeah, the main thing, even though the Star Wyverns were mean with the Dragon Lord breath, the kind of stars of that grinding area just north of the Jerk Cave, the Rainbow Drop Cave, and just south of Rimmeldar was you had an area with golems that had hurt and heal, along with the Axe Knights, and that was where Betastrep was just able to exponentially expand his experience. Z saying he was going to grind on blue dragons for a bit in Hawksness. The spike tile in the swamp was a stone man. So neither spike tile was all that ideal.
Yeah, I think you found a pretty nice spot, Beta, and being able to one hurt more so many different enemies there, and then just attack Golem, so you didn't even need to use the Fairy Flute, saved a lot of time. So even though there was heal, it was negligible.
All right, so yeah, it's weird kind of having a typed interview here, but we're going to go ahead and go along with it here. So the Blue Dragons weren't bad with Erdrick's armor. They apparently had 50% stop spell, but by the time Z-Man had gone to them, he had found Hawksness first, so had not found the armor, thinking that the armor was there, and that turned out to not be the case.
I think it was a really nice race. Unfortunately, that death necklace happened, and then not going through the swamp cave. Betastrep made it through that swamp cave, was able to find coal, and it just changed it. Did either of you players know if that was a single continent or if there were?
Betastrep saying second continent was small and had absolutely nothing. It was essentially a wasteland, as Z-Man notes as well.
Got it.
So the fields, they're starting to fill up a little bit, and looking at the looking at the groupings here, I mean, those who are in the 2 and 1 bracket, which is where Betastrep is. Holy cow! I mean, this is a field that at 2 and 1. I mean, it has Bobski, it has Thirwolf, it has up to NG, it has Nest Cardinality, J Coper, Lavkian, Silverfire, Sparkover, the defending 2-time champion Game Boy F9. So this doesn't get any easier going forward, and even those who are at 1 and 2. I mean, Z-Man falling to there, but there are a lot of extremely talented names there. I'm looking here. I mean, I see Ouija Wee, I see Cyberdark 86, Empty Eye, Brysulf, JJ Schmidt, Amazing Toaster, Tilo Tilo, the Seawolf, Lord of the Synth. I mean, just to name a few. I mean, I don't want to go through the whole list and everything, and I apologize for those who I didn't mention. But I mean, there's no cupcake victories here anywhere, regardless of where your record is.
Everything is a victory when cupcakes are involved.
Fair point. It's discussions from Sparkover and Betastrep in chat about potentially playing the Big Swamp mode, which is something that you can utilize in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer. What it does is it changes the overworld map to 75% of it being, well, that swamp tile, where every step that you walk without Erdrick's armor on, it takes 2 hit points of damage.
I might even try to get a race together now, a late night race, if anybody's interested. So,
well, and it's perfect timing, as I just put up in the chat here on Twitch the link to the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Discord, as looks like one of our runners, JJ Schmidt, was already kind of sending out feelers for a potential post-tournament race, late night group race, as there are casual races that go on even here in the midst of the tournament. You can also download the randomizer, give it a go yourself as well, and the link to do so is there in the chat. Any last thoughts here before we wrap things up here for the night?
yeah, this is really different doing an interview where the interviewer is in the chat.
It certainly is different. I've done it on a couple of occasions, and it's just a matter of a little bit of matter of narration here. So make sure to give both of our runners a follow, as they gave you a heck of an entertaining race here. Both Zman050778 and Betastrep as well. And make sure to show some thanks and love to the folks behind the scenes, following and otherwise here. Our restreamer, CD Improv. Also our tracker, Ali Gerbrap. And for my broadcast partner, WillWagnerMusic, it's always a blast, my friend, whenever we get to commentate together. I'm FearonBurgundy, saying until next time, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. We're now going to take a host, send you over to Puexel, who is doing a Final Fantasy Legend Solace speed run. Certainly should be a goodie. Good night, everyone.